So today we are going to just explore how to measure with the geometry. So measure angles, measure perimeter area. It's relatively easy. So first thing, notice I'm in my account, so I'm going to just start playing. So I'm going to open up a geometry sticky, right? So there we are, and I'm going to make it big because I want to put a lot of things on here so I don't have to keep adding. So first thing, I want to draw some things. So I'm just using my finger here to draw some shapes that are going to be able to be measured, segments. We can make some angles, circle, the things you would typically measure, right? So as with any tool, you're going to need to select what you want to measure. And if I go into my measurement options, notice these are all the things I can do. I can measure angles, supplementary angles, length, area, circumference, or perimeter, depending on whether you have a polygon or a circle, the radius of a circle, the slope of a line segment, direction, coordinates, equation, and those are your options, and you can also measure an expression. So depending on what you select determines what's available to you to measure. So the nice thing is this is smart, so it kind of determines based on what you select what it's going to happen. So let's just start with something typical. We'd want to measure angles, right? So to measure an angle, you're going to select two sides. Notice when I select those two sides, I now have only three options left for measurement: angle, supplementary angle, or expression. So let's just measure an angle. So selected what I wanted, and now I just choose angle, and there's my angle measure. So I can also move this off somewhere where it's out of the way. Right now in the beta version, we are labeling our angles with Greek letters. That's going to change. So you're going to be able to make the labels be what you want, 3 points, however you want to describe them. You can also change the precision of them, but measuring them is as simple as selecting what you want and then hitting angle. Notice over here we also get a sticky of that measurement, and this can be used later in calculations if you want. And you can move it around and those types of things. So let's go back into our thing. And what is a supplementary angle? I'm sure some of you are asking that. If you're a math teacher, you know what that is, but how do you measure that? And so let's go back to the angle we measured. So here's the angle we measured. I'm going to select it again. We already measured the angle, but what's the supplementary angle going to do? Well, it's going to add the other component that makes a linear pair, right? So 180 degrees there. And if you want, you could change the color so that it's standing out differently. So we have both of those angles measured, and you know, once you do that, if you move them, they dynamically change. So that's kind of nice to really focus on linear pairs. We are going to be adding in obviously the ability to measure all the way around a circle, so 360 degrees, not just stopping 180, but we're still in beta version, so we're not quite there yet. So what do you do if you want to measure? If I select a segment, first let's click off here. If I select a segment, I bring my keyboard back up here. What are my options? Segment line. So I can measure its length and distance. That's probably our most typical thing. And again, you just hit it, and there's your measurement, and you can change that precision. We're going to be working on changing the labels. I can also measure same line. If I select it, I can measure its slope. If that's something, you know, if you're talking about parallel lines, things like that. Right, and the nice thing is it shows you the little slope triangle. That's really nice. That was the right angle, rise over run type of thing. Again, hitting that same segment, direction, equation of the line, those types of things, whatever you want. So it's as easy as selecting what you want and choosing the measurement options down at the bottom. Let's just explore circle for a little bit here. So circle, I can do its area, its circumference, its radius. So if I did circumference, so let's kind of scroll so we can see that. There we go. If I did, there's my circumference of my circle. Let's zoom a little bit. There we go. And what I really like, this is a new feature, is when you hit radius, I'm going to move that measure off so we can kind of see what radius they're talking about. I love that it adds this little dotted line in to show you what that radius is if you didn't already have it there, right? And so let's go back over here to this triangle, right? This is polygon. I tend to want area, right? So if I click the inside of the triangle, these are my options. I can do its area, its perimeter, and its expression. So here's the area. Let's just see what the perimeter looks like. This would be a nice comparison. Then you can measure the sides and, you know, figure out where that area formula is, where the perimeter came from. So very easy to measure in geometry. You are simply going to select what you want, So if you want the area, you select the inside. If you want the angle, you select the two sides. If you want the length, you select the side, the segment, whatever it is. And then just choose the measurement option that you want. Very simple, very easy. So have fun creating.